big shock of the millennium is that Six Flags and Cedar Fair are merging. Um, I was going to make a video about the top 11 things that I wanted to see Cedar Fair learning from Six Flags and Six Flags learning from Cedar Fair, but honestly, apart from maybe pass holder lounges at Cedar Fair parks, if they don't already have that, I've never been a Cedar Fair pass holder. Well, soon I will be, I guess. And them to stop using the fast lane technology and do the flash pass technology. Honestly, apart from that, I really can't think of many more of things that Six Flags does. Uh, maybe the visual scan things that you go through, kind of like TSA. I would like to see that at Cedar Fair parks, and I would like to see that honestly at most parks. But honestly, apart from that, I really can't think of anything that Cedar Fair Park should learn from Six Flags. However, as a Six Flags pass holder, and as someone who looks at like various theme park who looks at the other Cedar Fair parks, there is something that I would like to see Six Flags learn from the merger with Cedar Fair, and with Zimmerman being the CEO, that is, there's 11 things. They're in no particular order. So let's begin. Number 11, honestly, just based on what I've seen, like with Coaster Fest, Coaster Mania, Winter Solstice, and uh I don't remember what the King's Dominion event is, but and also all of the overall Cedar Fair parks where they do uh good ACE events. I would like to see better ACE events and enthusiast events at Six Flags parks. Um my home park, Great America, for the last few ACE events that I think it's been mainly ERT on Viper and Raging Bull, and that's about it. And Q&A and meal. Don't get me wrong. I love Viper and I love Raging Bull, but when you compare that to something like Coaster Stock or Cedar Point or the Winter Chill Out event, I would really like to see some Six Flags parks do the Winter Chill Out event, especially Great America. But that's just me, I guess. Um, So that's something I would like to see happen with this merger. Number 10, I would like to see overhauls on the wooden coasters. I know Cedar Fair is not the greatest when it comes to maintaining wooden coasters, but Six Flags isn't the greatest either, in my opinion. So I would like to see, kind of like what happened with Grizzly at King's Dominion by having like a steeper drop reprofiled by Gravity Group. I would like to see that happen too. Viper is pretty awesome the way it is, but I would love to see maybe American Eagle get its drop reprofiled to be a little bit steeper, because the Beast at Kings Island also got reprofiled to have a steeper drop. Um, I'm trying to think if there's any other wooden coasters. Maybe Predator at Darien Lake. I don't know if they own that. Wildcat at Frontier City. Again, I don't know if that technically counts. Um, Maybe Great American Scream Machine at Over Georgia. Maybe Screamin' Eagle at St. Louis. I'm just rattling through my head. Maybe like a Wild One at Six Flags America. Maybe I don't know, maybe the Thunderbolt at Six Flags New England. I'm trying to think, or Monster, especially at the Ronde, could use some overhauls. So I don't know if they're gonna go with Gravity Group because they've done that with a few, or if they're gonna go with GCI, which they've done with Timberwolf at Worlds of Fun. But overall, I would like to see some of the wooden coasters get overall profiled to be a little bit smoother, maybe have steeper drops, maybe a little more force, a little more punch, a little more action, and, a few Millennium Flyer trains wouldn't hurt either. Number 9, I would like to see improved park entrances. Cedar Point. No, I don't think Kings Island did. Carowinds, and that might be it. So maybe this is just only a few parks that have done it. Um, there's some parks that, like for me, for example, Great America, which, like I've said, is my home park, Six Flags Great America. Soon to be one of the two Six Flags Great Americas, I guess. Well, that one's gonna close soon, so I guess so. No point in renaming that. Um, I would like to see the entrances improved. Um, if they get a new coaster along with their entrances, great. If not, well, I think that's okay too. Trying to think, like maybe Discovery Kingdom, if there's any land, if that would work for an entrance. Um, hmm, Trying to think, maybe Frontier City improve their entrance. I'm just guessing. Great America, I think, should improve their entrance. They got theirs redone in 2013, I want to say maybe. And honestly, I prefer the older entrance. This new one is you check bags. You go through, you have your bags checked, and then you check tickets. Previously, I think it was check tickets, then you check bags. So I don't know if that's the norm or whatever, but I would like to see entrances improved. Additional coasters, well, that's a good add-on if possible. Number 8, park specific merchandise. I know, as an enthusiast, I'm not even 0.1 billionth. I'm not even 1% of the people that buy merchandise, but I would like to see. But as someone who's been to like Kings Island, and I've been to Cedar Point, and I've been to Carowinds and Worlds of Fun and King's Dominion, and I've pretty much been to every single Cedar Fair and Six Flags Park, um, except for Frontier City. No offense. Um, you can tell that Cedar Fair parks, because they don't have the DC Comics characters, they have their own specific park merchandise. I'm thinking about like Cedar Point had that giant book. Kings Island has a new book, A Ride Through History, I think. It's over there. I got it from Amazon after after clicking on Coast Radio. I know that Cedar Point has like their Cedar Pointopoly, their Monopoly thing. So so that's what I would like to see. Also, as a magnet person, I can say that the Cedar Fair magnets, while they might have the same font, they are very different from each other. While the Six Flags in recent years has just been Six Flags. It doesn't say Six Flags Magic Mountain, Six Flags Great Adventure, Six Flags Great America, Six Flags Great Escape, New England, or Mexico, or whatever. It just says Six Flags. So that's what I would like to see. I know in the past that they used to, is I know it was a money saving thing or whatnot. Um, so that is something that I would like to see the Six Flags parks improve on, to get park specific merchandise, magnets, keychains, stuff like that. And no, shot glasses for me don't count because I'm dry, and that'll come up. Number 7, I'd like to see more on-site lodging. Cedar Fair has been gangbusters at adding lodging, whether it was their own lodging, like with Camp Cedar, whether it's been acquisitions, like with the Sawmill Lodge, I think, at Cedar Point, or if it's been through partnerships like the what is it? I think it's the court. Is it the Spring Hill Suites at Carowinds? I apologize, folks. I'd like to see more on-site lodging, because and don't give me that story of, oh, Six Flags only attracts people from a few hours, from half an hour to an hour away, so they don't need lodging. That's complete junk, in my opinion. I mean, Great Escape has lodging, Darien Lake has lodging. In the past, Six Flags Worlds of Adventure had lodging. or Six Flags Ohio or whatever. So I would like to see, especially Great Adventure. I would love to see. St. Louis has plenty of land to get one. Um, Maybe the Great Escape Lodge get an overhaul. Maybe be similar to what Cedar Point did to Castaway Bay. Um, Maybe Darien Lake could get some money to add an indoor water park resort. They already have the hotel. Um, so yeah, that's something I'd like to see. And lodging keeps people on your property. It helps you with money. Um, I don't really see what the big problem is personally. Number six, unique non-alcoholic drink options. This is one. Now, alcoholics, you can just take a nap for a few seconds. As a non-alcoholic, really about the only time that there are unique dry drinks at Great America that I've noticed is mainly during um Halloween. That's about it. That's about the only time I notice. Cedar Point has several locations or has several unique drink options like Flavor Raven, Ruga Chill, I think. Dorney Park's Chicky and Pete's have drinks named after their rides. So that's something else. I don't know if that's the exception or if that's the rule, but that is something I would like to see. And honestly, if you offer a unique non-alcoholic drink, you're not you're not losing any money. You'll probably get a larger audience than just 21 and above people, which yeah, yes, I know. Great America, for example, has tons of unique alcoholic drinks named after their coasters. Well, I think they should also offer unique sodas or juices or drinks or whatever, non-alcohol. Number five, I this probably won't happen, but I can dream. I would love to see de de-theming DC areas and rides, or de-theming DC rides slash theming enhancements. Six Flags, I get it, DC sells, but the parks are becoming more and more DC commercials. Six Flags St. Louis right now was in the plans to turn one of their areas into a DC Supergirls themed area, giving the park three DC themed lands. Yeah. Six Flags Over Georgia has three DC themed areas as well. Um, yes, I am hurt that that DC Universe replaced Yankee Harbor. Yes, I am very angry about that, especially since I didn't add anything. So I would like to see them maybe retheme some of the attractions that no one's going to, like, I don't know, how popular is Green Lantern still? How popular is yeah, I know the Penguin's popular. Um Poison Ivy? I don't think that character is super popular right now. Supergirl, I guess that character is popular, but there's they're really like starting to like scrape the bottom of the barrel with some of the characters. So in areas where there's no where like it's just a random ride in a non DC themed area, I'd like to see maybe Cedar Fair could like get not could retheme that and maybe like cut down on some of the licensing, because when they acquired the Paramount parks, they stripped them of all the Paramount licensing. So I don't want them to get rid of DC Comics. I want them to kind of like trim it a little bit or streamline it a little bit. Meanwhile, I'd like to see some theming return to some themed areas. Knott's, has improved themed areas and has been very careful with stuff. King's Dominion has been very careful with theming and stuff. King's Island just revamped part of Oktoberfest into Adventure Point, I believe. So they are not Cedar Fair is not against individual theming, so that's what I would also like to see. I'd like to see the British area at Six Flags St. Louis to get a little more British. I'd like to see some nautical theming return to Yankee Harbor. I'd like to see some wilderness theming return to Yukon Territory. Um, I'm sure there's tons of areas that okay, the lakefront area at Six Flags Great Adventure. That area has like two nautical themed rides and two DC rides. I'd like to see maybe one of them be rethemed, or no, three rides. Okay, well, just maybe like again, a little bit of theming enhancements because Knott's did revamp their boardwalk section. I don't and Mad Six Flags has several nautical themed areas. I don't see why those areas can't also be upgraded. Number four, something Cedar Fair loves doing is their Planet Snoopy slash Camp Snoopy revamping their kids areas. There's some that have not been touched in years, and some that have been destroyed pretty much. That's of Six Flags themed areas that of Six Flags kids areas that I would like to see improved. Specifically Six Flags Great America. Yeah, we have Hometown Park. Yeah, we have Kidsopolis. We used to have Camp Cartoon and Bugs Bunny National Park, or Looney Tunes National Park, and we got rid of Looney Tunes National Park to make room for Little Dipper. And we've Camp Cartoon lost its theming in 2018, I believe, and like three of the rides that were in that area have been removed and replaced with nothing. So that area that area is looking very poor. So I would like to see that area kind of upgraded. I would hope for a Looney Tunes area, but that's just me. Magic Mountain has not gotten a they got a kids coaster in 2014, kids coaster in 2014, but I don't think they've really like improved their kids areas. So since 1999, so that's been quite a while. Um, okay, Great Escape has not expanded their kids area since 2005. I think they even removed a ride or two since then. So that's another that could use some improved theming. And that park used to have Looney Tunes. Now they're just random characters. So maybe that could turn into a Camp Snoopy, maybe, or back into a Bugs Bunny National Park. Number three, Ranger Shoutout, or hashtag Water Park Messiah. I would like to see several water slides get repainted. There's especially some of the mid 90s some of the 80s and 90s water slides, at least from what I know of. Magic Mountain, for example, has a lot of like white and black slides. Like very boring bland colors. Um so I would like I'm sure I think the Water World in Con- Sacramento, I think. Waterworld Sacramento, I think. Yeah. And I'm sure there are other slides that are just boring white colors or boring black or boring um whatnot. So I would like to see Cedar Fair like repaint some of those slides. They have done this. They've done it at the at least at Schlitterbahn New Braunfels with the Black Knight and I think maybe Wolfpack, maybe also Massive Blaster. I'm not sure. I know at Cedar Point they repainted slides. That might have been done during the We May era. And I know at Valley Fair they've repainted the slides. Again, I don't know if that was cur- Oh, no, no. They Cedar Point did that recently, so that is not out of the question. So that's what I would like. That's what I would like to see at several of the water parks. For I've made a joke to some employees that there's a tipping bucket play area called Skull Island at Great America, and when you're driving along like the outer area right by the water park, the it's it has a it has a gray skull face, except for in the back, where because it's been affected by water and it hasn't been repainted, it's actually starting to turn like skin color. So it's a bald guy. So it's a skull that's starting to get like a bald patch, which is kind of kind of hilarious. And I think one employee said, "Oh, that kind of defeats the purpose." I'm like, yeah, maybe. So that's something that I would like to see. Number two, I'd like to see more character presence besides DC Comics. Um, as a as a Six Flags Great America local, looking at Cedar Point and looking at Dorney Park and looking at Kings Island and looking at all of these parks that have that have their own Snoopy or Charlie Brown show kind of depresses me, and it makes me realize how little Six Flags cares about the Looney Tunes. You could argue the Looney Tunes are a dying brand, and I personally don't know if I believe that. I think they've been mistreated, but that doesn't mean dying brand. Um and if that's the case, then okay, if you want to get rid of dying brands, get rid of Waterworld. Hmm? Get rid of Disney fans, get rid of Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, retheme that, huh? Oh, now I've gone too far. So yeah, I would like to see like some Looney Tunes interactions. I'd like to see some Looney Tunes shows. Um in the past few years, I'm trying to think since maybe I don't know, maybe since like 2018. I might be wrong. 2016, 2017. I might be wrong though. I can only think of maybe two Looney Tunes shows that have played at Great America. And one of them was a holiday show, a winter holiday show. So, yeah, I would like to see, I would like to see a stronger lean into using the Looney Tunes characters for, at the very least, like a daytime kids show, or a show during their Fright Fest event, um, or maybe Winterfest event, or maybe Winterfest or Holiday in the Park, or December events, I should say. I would like to see them used a little more. So yeah, that's my number two. And number one, I would like to see some individual park personality. Um, since since so many parks have gotten rid of their original themed lands to be replaced with generic Metropolis, DC Universe, DC Comics Plaza, Gotham City, DC Super Friends, I don't know, I can't think of any. I would like to see some a throwback to like some unique names, some original themed lands. Like you go to King's Dominion and they could have, or Carowinds, for example. They could have themed their aeronautics landing. They could have called it Jungle Expedition. Kings Island. They could have called their Adventure Point Jungle Expedition, which is the name that King's Dominion gave their area, but no, they came up with original names and original themes, which kind of gave the parks their own individuality. Yes, there's the Camp Snoopy, Planet Snoopy, and there might be a Soak City or a Wildwire Kingdom or whatnot, but for the most part, each of the parks have their own flavor, have their own like personality, and have their own dimension. You can't go to Cedar Point and be like, oh, this is the same themed land that's at this is Fiesta Ville. I'm so, what was it? Okay, yeah. This is Fiesta Village. Just like at Knott's Berry Farm, you go to Kings Island and you're like, oh, this is Aeronautic Landings, just like at Carowinds. You go to Valley Fair and you're like, oh, this is this is the South Asia, like at Worlds of Fun. Each park has their own unique themed areas, so that's something else that I would like to see. Um, Honestly, that's about it. Let me know what you think. I'm trying to be optimistic. But as someone who has like looked back and read about like mergers and acquisitions, it it almost never turns out great. But look, I would be happy to be proven completely wrong on this. I want to be proven wrong. Please, Six Flags Cedar Fair, Salim, Richard Zimmerman, everybody, please prove me wrong. Prove that this merger was a good idea. Bye.